and could then just go into your account and grab their tax money. Wallet Online, where it has built-in financial tools, they can then go and lend out 10 times the amount of money that I deposit. When I was a kid, I used to keep a piggy bank underneath my bed where I would go around the house and find all the different coins I could scramble up and throw them in my piggy bank. And then whenever a holiday would roll around and my relatives would give me money, essentially cash, I would take that cash and then throw it in my piggy bank. There was no form of tracking or knowing where the cash came from, who I got it from, how much from grandpa, how much from a different relative. There was no tracking. I just kept a stack of it in my piggy bank. Well, that's what I call living in a cash-dominant world. And back in those days, the only tracking you had was actually on the physical bill. Each bill has a serial number on US dollars. And the only way you would ever know where that bill came from is if you physically wrote down that serial number, who gave it to you, and when. And even then, you still wouldn't have a really good tracking system. That's how primitive our cash system is. And what it really comes down to is Uncle Sam always wants his money. That's right. Governments always want to get their taxes, regardless of how you feel about it. Back 15 years ago, I remember buying used cars with my father, and we would pay in cash. And a lot of times, the great thing about that is what you could do is pay the person in cash. They would give you a reduced rate. They would then claim less cash on the deal and pay less taxes because of it. Well, those days are starting to come to an end. Everyone wants to avoid taxes, and I'm sure you remember the days when you could hire people under the table and just pay them cash at the end of the job. They wouldn't have to pay taxes on it, and you wouldn't have to go through the process of actually hiring somebody. Those days are coming to an end. What it all comes down to is we all have to pay taxes. Income taxes, which is probably the most common. Then there's business taxes. All of the businesses are getting taxed and send money to Uncle Sam. And then my least favorite of them all, capital gains tax, where after you make investments, the government comes in and swipes some more money away. This is in our everyday lives, but the only way the government can actually charge you or tax you is if they know how much money has been moving through you. The world is about to change dramatically. We are going to be banking in the new age. I absolutely hate going to the bank. Every time I walk in the bank, they ask me questions about my money. And the reason why they ask me questions is because they want my business. They want to make more money off of me. And dependent upon how much money I have in my account, they can then go and lend out 10 times the amount of money that I deposit. So the bank actually makes money by holding my deposits. And in addition to that, they can then go and lend it out or invest it in other places to make even more money. The other thing is, when I walk into the bank, because I own a business, they're always prodding and pulling to see how my business is doing, see if there's other services they could sell me. I don't want to deal with that crap. Nobody wants to deal with that. Well, that's going to come to an end really fast, because modern day banking is going to change so much over the next 10 to 20 years. And that brings me to banking in the new age. Imagine a world where your bank account was now digital dollars, essentially a cryptocurrency. Now, there are so many advantages to this, and the problem is there are so many disadvantages to having a central bank decentralized currency. The first problem I see with this is it's a huge invasion of privacy. Imagine you had a bank account that was controlled by the central bank. They knew every single transaction you made and could then just go into your account and grab their tax money. I don't know if they would implement it that way, but that would be a total disaster. Now, I do see some advantages here, because it would totally eliminate the need for so much accounting work. A lot of bookkeeping would just be automated out. That's the beauty of a blockchain system, is that it keeps a ledger of all the transactions. So this would dramatically reduce the amount of accounting that has to happen in order to pay your taxes. Another big benefit is I could see a scenario where you have this wallet online where it has built-in financial tools, and because your finances are being tracked, the system could actually make intelligent recommendations on how to build wealth. That would be great, but it's really asking a lot from the government to do that, and I just don't think they would. Another big benefit to this, and it's probably how the governments are going to pitch this, is that it eliminates a lot of illegal activity that happens because they can see the transition of where the money went. They could follow the money the whole time and see what's happening. So a lot of money laundering would get eliminated, and it would also eliminate counterfeit purchases because you wouldn't be able to print the money anymore. It would be all digitized. One thing I don't know is how would they do it if you didn't have an internet connection? Would you have a hardware wallet that you could just swipe like a credit card and that it would just then pull the funds out of your wallet and then eventually reconnect with the internet to sync your funds? And how would they track it? Would it be tracked by your social security number or your government ID number? Or would they track it to the wallet? Overall, another huge advantage is that it simplifies monetary policy. There's no reason to print money anymore. That gets wiped out. Essentially, you don't have to print cash. You can just create more digital dollars with a few clicks of a button. And a downside to this that you have to keep in mind is that the currency could be set at a fixed amount, or it could even be deflationary. The government has no incentive to make it deflationary, so it would probably still inflate. I can't see a world where they would want to deflate the currency. It's probably going to continue to inflate in order to cover previous debts, and part of the reason why countries choose to devalue their currency. So where is this happening right now? Well, there are a lot of different countries that are interested in this. So where is this being implemented today? Well, right now, it's being implemented in China in just a few provinces where they're trying to replace the yuan with the digital yuan. And it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. A lot of countries wanted to start this process, mostly some European countries. But I imagine the US is going to be interested in this very soon. So what do I think? Are CBDCs good or bad? It's really hard to say. There's so many advantages, but yet there's so many disadvantages. On a personal level, I hate it, but on a technological level, I love it. So I'm very torn. What I think needs to happen is they need to find a way to legislate this where the government doesn't have too much control, but at the same time, we could implement a digital version of the US dollar. That's what I think. As always, guys, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the content. Hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, and leave a comment below. What do you think about CBDCs? What are your thoughts? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? Where do you think it will go? And do you think it's going to be dramatically different from country to country? I can't wait to find out. I look forward to catching you in my next video.